So obviously joined today by potential top pick, potential first overall pick in the 2025 draft, Michael Misa. Michael, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
So pretty substantial season in the O this season, this year, if I may say so myself, leading scorer. Um, last year it was a little bit more of I wouldn't say a trying year, but it was a little bit more of a transition year for you where you were playing a little bit of center, playing a little bit of wing. Benches got shortened as you guys pushed in the playoffs, Mem Cup. This year, really, it felt like you took the team by the horns and you really led with it. What do you feel you did differently or you gained from the years of experience this year that really helped you get to the top?
Yeah, I think coming off that Mem Cup year, we obviously, like you said, we did have a lot of older guys, a lot of guys that had experience. So I think just kind of learning off them, coming into my draft year helped my game, and I think the biggest thing was just playing with confidence, just believing in myself when I was on the ice, and kind of let my game just speak for itself.
Yeah, and so we talk about your game because everybody knew you were very much a goal scorer, but we saw the playmaking ability a lot this year, especially because you played mostly at center this year, as opposed to last year. When Owen Beck was joined the team, you had Hunter Haight, so some of you had to get shifted to the wing. This year, you played predominantly at center. Did that extra layer of playmaking ability turning you into a dual threat, was that something that you felt that you were able to kind of take to another level? Is there an aspect to that game, to the vision, maybe the way you were seeing the ice, the way you were seeing your teammates, that changed this year?
Yeah, I think going down the middle was something I always wanted to do in the OHL, like just playing the center. I felt just more comfortable down the middle. I played all of minor hockey as a centerman, so I think when I got that chance to go back, it just kind of made me, find my groove again. I got a lot more puck touches, kind of being like the third guy low always, and I think as a center, you kind of carry the play a bit more into the offensive zone, and that's kind of where I allowed myself to, pass my wingers a lot and kind of set them up. So yeah, it worked out.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. And so, like when you started in the O, seen as a center last year, there were talks of potentially projecting you as a winger at the NHL level, and then this year you kind of shut down a lot of that conversation because you really kind of excelled at center. You yourself, because I know that obviously there's other people with opinions, but you yourself, would you prefer to see yourself as a center in the pros at the NHL level, or do you not mind shifting to the wing?
Yeah, I think my first option would definitely be center. That's just what I'm most comfortable with. But um, when I do hopefully eventually get there, whatever the kind of like the team needs me to play, I'll obviously do. But I hope to be a center. Yeah.
And obviously leading the O in scoring this year, and then second overall in goal scoring. Having that confidence. You lost a lot of big name players on your team last year. You still had some really big names yourself, Zane, and then you obviously get Protas in the mix. My question is, how do you bounce back from that, right? When you lose so many key pieces and still remain competitive, like what did you take on yourself to compensate for that?
I think yeah, just knowing it was my draft year was a big year for me, and just tried to do whatever I could to help the group. And I think Saginaw did a good job about having our younger players step up and fill big roles. And during the summertime, we got a couple of key pieces like Epperson, really helped out our team, and then getting Igor and like mid January to February was huge for us too. And our team ended up rounding out really well. And I think just having guys that don't usually play big minutes come in and step up definitely helped out.
And you know, there was a lot of growth in your overall game this season. We saw, more dedication to the two-way game. We saw a little bit more dedication to being more physical on the puck, more physical on the opponents. Of the things that you improved on this season, what's the one element that you're the most proud of?
I think just my defensive ability kind of be that second guy quick in battles and stuff. Just it was something Laz or Coach harped on me a lot this year was just trying to become that 200-foot player. I think my offensive ability was there, but being able to be reliable defensively and break pucks out and stuff is something I thought I improved on. And at the next level, you're gonna have to do that to be trusted and play. You got to play 200-foot games. So that's something that I was probably most proud of.
When we talk about the getting to this point, and then the draft obviously coming up, and then being a player that's realistic, worst case scenario, top 5 pick, best case scenario, top pick in the draft, that comes with a lot of pressure. Being an exceptional status player on top of it, like how do you deal with pressure? How do you internalize or externalize the feeling of pressure?
Um, yeah, no, it's a good question. I think the biggest thing for me, because coming into the OHL, like right away, there was like pressure on me to do well with like all the exceptional status stuff. The expectations were, on me heavy, and I think the best thing you can do is kind of just tune out everything like the outside noise and just focus on what you can do yourself, like inside the rink and outside the rink every day to just make yourself a better player. Because that's really the only thing you can control. So that's kind of my mindset on it. Just play hockey and do what I do and try to just ignore everything else.
And then just kind of, as you kind of grow your game, right? Because, you know, centers in the NHL with that kind of pure goal scoring ability are few and far between. So I always wanted to ask you this question, even going back to last year. We have your former teammate here in Montreal, Owen Beck. When I asked him, even he couldn't find a comp for you. Is there a player that you watch that you think you can emulate in the NHL, or do you feel like you're going to be the first Michael Misa?
Well, in terms of, like modeling my game after people or like people I compare myself, I like kind of a mix of Kaprizov and Kucherov. Um, those two, I like watching both those players, both lefties, kind of play similar to me. I think just the
Mm.
way they're able to like calm the play down and always find a good play. They're both really good playmakers. So yeah, those two I'd say.
Yeah, it's a little ironic. I was speaking to Ivan Demidov 2 weeks ago before he came over from Russia, and he said the exact same thing. Lefties slow the game down, incredible vision, but incredibly dangerous if you leave them any space whatsoever.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Um, so one of the things that I really wanted to touch on, it feels like last year was a weird year in general for Saginaw. It was just, the way that you guys had to kind of wait to be the host of the Mem Cup, and then when you got to the Memorial Cup, that final, I remember against London was absolutely insanity. Um, when it comes to being in a clutch environment, in a clutch situation like that, what do you feel those big tournaments can do for your experience, your development, your growth as an OHL player?
Yeah, I think playing in such big games like that throughout the year, like second round Western Conference Final, Memorial Cup, I think all those games, it just helps you for future games. You're more calm in them. You're not feeling the nerves as much. So unfortunately, we didn't make it that far in the playoffs this year. But I think if we did, we would have been a lot of guys on that team played in the Memorial Cup, and I think it just helps with experience, staying calm in those kind of moments.
And with rebuilding teams and the way that the NHL works, there's a lot of expectation for certain players. Like when you're a team that's going to be looking at you is going to be expecting or hoping for, number one, number two center. Um, what do you feel you still need to work on to reach that level? Like, what have you outlined for yourself this summer to say, you know what, I'm going to try to make a team out of camp?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I've been told, and I'm going to continue to do, is just get stronger.
Yeah.
I think the next level, everyone's kind of like they're all men, so in order to stay at that level, you just want to try and get it not like gain a lot of weight, but more just like muscle mass, just getting stronger. I think it could help your play on and off the puck, and just be more reliable out there.
And, with the season, especially with how high you are, I'm assuming that there's been a lot of conversation with NHL teams, questionnaires or that they like to send out or talking to scouts. How
Yeah.
do you handle speaking to what's probably likely 15 to 20 teams at once?
Wait. Sorry, I didn't hear the last part of that question.
Oh, what was it like to talk to about 15 to 20 teams at once? Like, how do you?
Yeah.
Because I could just imagine you're getting like questions left and right. You're talking to X scout, you're talking to that regional scout. Like, how do you deal with that in terms of being able to not only just be yourself, but to project that image so that you leave that first impression?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is like kind of like you just said, just be yourself. You don't want to just be awkward or not be yourself in front of those teams because they just want to get to know you. And I talking to my brother about this because he went through the draft process
Yeah.
last year. I think just enjoying it is something that I've done this year. It only happens once your draft year, and having like the opportunity to talk to every team has been so cool. So just yeah, enjoying it.
Man, it really sucks though that the Calgary had to trade their first round pick for Sean Monahan a couple of years ago. Else could have maybe wound up with your brother.
Yeah, no, yeah, that would have been cool.
It's unfortunate. Um, One thing I wanted to ask, and obviously, like, if this answer is off the record, that's fine. But I just wanted to ask your opinion on it because it is something that is coming to the forefront now with the changing of rules. You've already played 3 years in the OHL. Uh, there's the possibility of potentially playing in the NCAA. There's obviously the potential of cracking an NHL roster next season. If for any sense of the imagination, you don't crack an NHL roster. Is the NCAA an option? And if not, that's okay. If it is it something that you and your agent have discussed?
Yeah, I think it obviously not just for me, but any players in general. It's pretty cool that NCAA options now available to players that haven't signed yet. But yeah, I think my main goal is obviously to try and make the NHL. That's what I plan on doing. Try to have a good camp and prove to that NHL team that I'm worthy of playing. But if not, yeah, it's something I'm gonna have to talk to my agent about and kind of discuss what my next steps are.
This is always a fun little bit towards the end. So who did you grow up a fan of as a kid in terms of the NHL teams available?
Leafs. I've been a Leafs fan. Growing up,
Don't worry, man, it's all good.
yeah, I just I hope I say this every year. I hope this year's the year, but I really have no clue if they're gonna win or not.
Yeah, we don't want to dwell on the trauma, but I mean, being up 3-0 against the Ottawa Senators has to feel nice. So,
No, yeah, yeah. Well, I hope the Habs win tonight. I like the Habs too, so I'm gonna watch their game.
well, I mean, again, I think the best hockey is always those two teams together. It's unfortunate they've only played once
I know.
against each other in the playoffs in
Yeah,
like 40 years, but
yeah,
it's definitely something we'd like to see one day is another full barn, like full it's Air Canada Center now,
yeah,
full Air Canada Center, full Bell Center, Montreal Leafs would be an insane series. Is there a player, because obviously watching the Leafs, growing up watching the Leafs, was there a player that stood out to you growing up watching the Leafs, and was there anything specific about them that you thought was just like wow?
yeah. For me, that's Mitch Marner.
Yeah,
Just I watched him a lot in London. Then he got drafted to the Leafs. Yeah, he's just been a player I've always followed. I like the way he plays. Just like one of the smartest players in the NHL. It's just yeah, it's so fun to watch him.
yeah. I mean, I hope for you that he ends up staying there. Well, I mean, well, that depends on where you get drafted, I guess. That depends on where. If you end up in a team in the same division, maybe you hope he leaves.
Yeah, yeah.
But as a fan, yeah, it would be fun to keep him there. Last, I got two more questions and I'm done. And then obviously, I think I've taken up enough of your time today. I'm really sorry again.
No, no, don't worry.
Um, so with the draft coming up, there's what about a month now between now and the combine.
I think yeah, yeah, just around then.
So what do you plan on doing over the next month?
Just the next couple of weeks focusing on rehab. Like the
Yeah,
reason I'm not at U18s right now is because of like a back injury. It's nothing
yeah,
serious. It's just muscle tightness. I need to get it back to normal, and then when it's back, obviously getting in the gym, skating, doing what I can to prepare for the combine. Probably get on the bike a lot too for to prepare for that Wingate test.
yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, so yeah, that's about it. But yeah, just staying local and hopefully I can play a couple rounds of golf when my back's back to normal too. I'd like to get on the course too.
Oh man. It's about that time, eh? It's
Yeah,
literally about that time.
yeah,
I hope you get on the course real quick then.
yeah.
So then I guess last question. Um, do you plan on, summer training generally, especially after a draft year? A lot of the kids that I speak to, especially in the Toronto region, Montreal is a guy like Michael Hage who trains in Toronto. A lot of guys in the NHL train. Do you train with any current NHL players, or do you plan to this summer?
Yeah. I train out of Oakville, where I'm
Yep.
from, and it's Wasserman, our agency. We actually have a lot of Oakville clients that kind of work out together. We have a pretty good group. It's me, my brother, Evan Bouchard, um, Nick Lardis,
No.
couple other like good AHL like NHL players. So it is a good group, and I think we will start that probably in a couple weeks because there's obviously a lot of guys still playing. So um, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, Nick just went and started playing at for Rockford in the AHL, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, no, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it is a good group we have there.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, look, thank you so much for your time. So personally, just by following, it's been a pleasure this season to watch you grow. I was really happy to see the season you had. So congrats on the amazing season. And then, like I said at the beginning of the of the recording, hopefully we see your name very, very early in June. I'll be there. I'll be in the stands
Awesome.
just to cover it. So maybe we'll run into each other there too, and I'll be able to give you a handshake. You can't
Yeah,
miss me. Very shiny head.
yeah,
So,
that's
but
awesome.
all the best on the season. Hope the rehab is quick. And
Yeah,
again, thank you very much for your time.
thank you, Marco. I appreciate you having me.